Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive. Today we're going to be installing some trailing arm skid plates on the Toyota Tacoma, and the idea of these is to protect the connection points really of the skid plates so that if you're off-roading or even if something slams up underneath your truck while you're driving down the road, you don't damage or destroy those connection points on the trailing arms. So what I've got, these come from Miller Cat. You can see everything is set up here. It's pretty simple install really, not a lot of hardware. That means it shouldn't take a lot of time, right? And we've got skid plates for both the front of the trailing arms and the back, as well as the different hardware. It does come with instructions, pretty simple to follow, I think. As far as the tools that you need, not too many. Again, a good sign that it should be a pretty simple mod, right? You need a torque wrench, and they do give you the torque specs throughout the instructions, so there's no guesswork as to that. I love companies that send you parts and they never tell you what the torque specs are supposed to be. Doesn't make any sense. So we've got the torque wrench there, and then you need a ratchet, and the directions suggest a 1/2 inch ratchet. I only have a 3/8 I think, so that's what we're going to use. As far as sockets go, you'll need a 17 millimeter and a 19 millimeter, and then a couple of wrenches, a 17 millimeter wrench, and then they call for, I believe, a 19 millimeter wrench, but unfortunately I don't have one. 3/4 inch will work just as well. Shouldn't give you any issues. Now, as far as where these go, I'm going to show you that as opposed to running through the loosening of the bolts, I guess, only because it's such tight space under there doing this on the ground that there's not a lot of room to film the actual action. So let me show you how these go. Let's crawl under here. Again, there's not a lot of room. So we've got the bolt here. This is the existing OEM bolt. You want to take the nut, which is right over here on the other side. You want to remove the nut, and then you're going to pull the bolt through just so it's even with the bracket on the truck on the other side. You don't want to remove the whole thing, nor do you need to. And the reason you want to pull this out a little bit is so the little area on the bracket fits underneath. So it's going to fit right over that bolt up against the existing truck bracket, if you will, like so. It'll fit underneath that nut. Now, once you have that, you'll rotate it up, and I'm trying to do this one-handed, of course, but you'll rotate it up, and this side will fit over the hole that's in the bracket already. There's one on each side, and then the provided bolts and the nut to fasten it will secure it over the bottom part of the trailing arm connection to protect it from impact, obviously. So that's how it's going to fit on this side. Now in the rear, let's take a look back there. Now on the back, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and loosen this nut, or actually we're going to take it all the way off, and then we're going to push the bolt right even with the edge of the truck bracket here. You do not remove the whole bolt. And again, same as in the front, we're going to slip this little notched area over the bolt that you see there, and then we'll push the bolt back through so that it comes out of the hole here on the side. That's how it's going to fasten. And then up top, go ahead and lay this up here to give you kind of an idea. Up top, it's going to rotate up like so, and you're going to put one of the supplied bolts, nuts, and 2 washers through that hole on the edge right here, and that's going to give you the skid plate protection here on the bottom for the connection point of the trailing arm. Pretty simple to do. The hardest part of this mod, I think, is just having the room under here. You can see, for filming purposes anyway, kind of tight to get that nut as far as shooting video of it. But you get the idea. And the whole point of this, much like the skid plate up front, is to protect the area back here so that you don't have any issues because of impact. And notice from a previous video, I did install the shock mount skid plates as well. You can see these mounted on the back of the truck on each side too, just to protect those shock mount areas from the same thing. Okay, got them on the truck. Pretty simple install really, although I will say the bolts that you have to remove the nuts from on the truck are pretty darn tight, and the torque spec for them are 103 foot-pounds if I recall. So they are pretty damn tight on there, so you got to really kind of crank to get them off. But other than that, I didn't really have any issue. I did use a mallet, a rubber mallet, to kind of tap those bolts a little bit to line them up with the edge so that I could push them back through the new skid plate brackets. But pretty slick little mod. Again, the idea is just to be able to, I guess, protect those trailing bar pieces, the connection points, so that they don't get damaged, you know, bent, knocked off, broken, anything like that, much like you do with a skid plate in the front. I mean, we put those on to protect everything that's underneath the truck, right? There is a discount code down below. If you're interested in these, check them out. There will be a link in there and a little bit of money off if you want to go ahead and put these on your truck for a little bit of extra protection. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, click that subscribe button if you haven't before, and we'll see you next time on the web. Bye. All right, as sometimes happens, unfortunately, the install footage was lost. Either I forgot to push the record button or the camera just glitched, I don't know. So here are a couple of stock photos showing how the parts look on the truck. It's just a simple thing to install for a little bit more protection so that you don't have a really bad day if you're out off-roading somewhere, or even if you're driving down the freeway and happen to run over something that can damage these pieces. Unfortunately, it happens.